Hello and welcome to another exterior video where I work on my truck. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not. And on today's video I'm gonna be working on my truck and I'm gonna be working and making another side panel on my driver's side now for more storage. When I was working on my passenger side, I always knew I'm gonna end up making another one. At that time I only had material for one side, so that's what I did, but the plan was always to make another for the second side. But this time around it's gonna be slightly different because the connection of two plates, I'm not gonna be able to weld it because I gotta go to my friend and he's very busy at work and I don't want to bother him. And another thing, I want to try to make it with just an L brackets, so that way anybody can make it without need to weld the aluminum. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. Now for this side I'm gonna make the panel, and it's only intended to have a storage in it. I got a very cool box for it, a storage box. So let me show you guys. After looking around for some time what I'm gonna mount, what's gonna fit in there, I really like the case from this company. Let me guys take it out. And as you can see guys, it's red. It's gonna look really awesome over there. I was actually inspired by one of the friends that I have followed on Instagram. He has a really awesome VK swap, Titan swap. He's running 38 size tires now, I think. And on the driver's side he has the same box, I think from the same company, but just different color. This is what I'm gonna mount this. Now I didn't buy this. This was actually a gift from me, from my friend, because I was helping him a lot with his brake issues. Was bleeding his brakes for multiple days. He had a lot of issues with the brakes, and as a thank you he got this for me. So the plan is to mount the side panel over here, and this box is gonna be up here like that. Now some people might say, oh, you're obstructing your mirrors, you're not gonna see what's behind you. This is absolutely not true, because as you can notice this sticks out more, so wherever it's mounted over here it's more in. The mirrors, if you aim the mirrors properly, you actually see what's out to the side of your truck. Like for example on this side, when I look through the mirror, this box is not even visible in the mirror, but I can see all of this because this is pretty much flash. So I don't want you guys to say, oh, you're obstructing your view. I'm not. I can clearly see what's on my sides. I also have a dash camera that sees everything behind me, so I'm not gonna be obstructing my view, so don't worry about that guys. So let me get some material and we're gonna start working on that. I'm gonna try to show you guys what I'm doing. So for the side panel, for the mounting bracket, I have these two aluminum 1/4 inch thick aluminum. One is 8 inch and the second one is 6 inch. So that's what I'm planning to use for that. And then of course I have this main plate, which is gonna be the main one. So I'm gonna cut it the same size I had the other one. So I'm gonna measure all of this, cut this all out. So now, like I said, these two pieces, unlike when I welded before, I'm not gonna weld this. I'm just gonna try to use L brackets and just bolt this together, and we'll see how that's gonna come out. So now I'm gonna start measuring this and cutting this. I'm gonna have to remove my recovery boards and actually have to relocate them. Have to figure out a new spot for them, but that's all right. So let me work on that. All right, so the recovery boards are out. I'm gonna remove those brackets as well because I'm really not gonna need them. I could actually use them. I can flip them around and mount the bracket to it, but I picked up these guys again, so I'm probably just gonna mount them, bolt it up. So basically gonna do the same as I did over there. Gonna try to copy all of this. So gonna work on that, cut it all out, and just gonna show you guys the measurements. All right, so now once again gonna see if I can slide these things over here, make sure they stay in place, and yeah, that should be all good. And once again this is gonna be all the way over here, and the other one is gonna be like somewhere over here, I think, but I'll double check how the other side looks like. Now for these brackets, the hardware that it comes with, I'm actually not using because first of all they're too short. So I'm gonna be using this 1/4 inch by 20 inch and a half bolts, but of course they don't go in these threads. So what I'm gonna do on this side, actually I'm gonna have a washer. This hole I'm gonna drill out, then I'm gonna put a washer and a lug nut. So that way they're all gonna go through they're gonna go get tied with a nut on this side, and I feel this is gonna be much better than just being held by the aluminum threads in there. So I'm gonna drill this out to allow for the bolt to go through, and then just gonna bolt it up. Alright, so now with a 1/4 inch bolts, washers, nylon lug nuts, gonna bolt this all up. Alright guys, so the brackets are in place. So now I'm gonna start building my main bracket, the one that's gonna come out and have a little angle down, where the main plate is gonna be bolted on. So once again, I'm pretty much gonna mimic the one I did on the other side, so they all consistent. So I'm gonna cut the first plate at 22 inches. That's gonna be my top portion, and then I'm gonna figure out how and what I'm gonna use for the joint. Alright, the first piece is out. Now once again, because of this sticking out over here, I have to make a little notch over here so this goes in, same way as I did on the other side. It's something like this, like almost 1/2 inch. I just need to cut out over here. So I'm gonna cut this out, try it a couple of times, make sure it fits there. Then I'm gonna mark the holes for the bolts, bolt it in, and gonna work on the bracket over here. Alright, and the cutout is out, more than enough. So now I can line up this, which is gonna be something like that. That looks even. I'm gonna measure it, of course. Gonna mark the holes and drill it. Guys, so this is mounted, and I cut out the other part over here where the main plate is gonna be resting. Now I know this side, this is only 3-inch wide. On the other side I did it from a 4-inch wide, but it just, that's what I had at that time, and this is what I have at this time. But this is more than enough. It's just gonna be overlapping over here, so this is more than enough. So now I'm gonna try to figure out how I'm gonna make this turn, how I'm gonna make this kind of angle, and then I'm gonna start looking into how I'm gonna mount the other part. Yep. Now since I'm not gonna be able to weld this bracket, I picked up this 4-piece 3-inch L brackets. I think that's what they call. And what I'm gonna do, I actually tried already one. I clamped it in a vice grip, and I'm gonna try to get the right angle that I want to have. As you can see, it opens up really nice and it's pretty strong. So I'm gonna make probably 3 of those, put it over here, and that's how I'm gonna be able to make my interconnection over here. So I think that's a pretty good idea. So gonna work on that, gonna try to make the right angle, the one I need over here, and yeah, that should be all right. Alright guys, so I bent this or opened it up, and just to make sure that it's the same at this side, just checking with the existing panel, and it's pretty much the same angle. So now I know I can mark those, make holes, and tighten this all up. And like I said, this one is 4-inch, but you can see a lot of this is just yeah, doesn't have to be 4-inch. 3 or 4 inches more than fine. So yeah, and I'm losing the daylight, the sunlight, and all kinds of lights, but basically this is gonna be like that. So I can mark these holes now, and I can drill them all out and start bolting this all together.
The next day.
And welcome to another day, guys. Actually, last night I was kept on working. It was getting dark, but when I work on a truck I lose track of time, so I did some more work. So as you can see, guys, this is all assembled. I think it's coming out pretty good. So as you can see, even without welding you can make this happen. Now to secure all of this, I'm using this kind of bolts, which are flathead tempered, and as you can see over here, hopefully you guys can see it, I made a hole with a bigger drill bit, like almost halfway. That way the heads of the screws of the bolts, they sit pretty much flush. I think it's coming out pretty good. I'll work on the main plate. I'm gonna mount this one back in place, and I'm gonna see how much more I need of this. I already cut it at 30-inch wide. Now I just need to confirm long it's gonna be. On the other side it's 25 inches, but this side I might do 26 inches. So it reaches all the way, but it's not really necessary, but we'll see. So probably gonna make it 26 inches. And of course, to mount to the back, to the bottom of the truck, once again I'm gonna use this heavy duty magnets with a 1/2 inch hole in the middle. So each magnet is rated for 96 pounds, so 4 of them, it's gonna be more than enough. So gonna work on that, and yeah, we'll see. Maybe today I can already paint it all and tomorrow can mount it up. All right, so I measured this at 25.5. I gave me 1/2 inch more of this one than the one on the other side, which just to be on the safe side. Even though I checked over here, 25 is gonna reach all the way up to here. I have enough space over here for the magnets, but just to be on the safe side. So gonna cut it up now. All right, let's see if I can cut this straight. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut off 3 ends. I don't want them to be sharp ends, so these 3 are gonna be cut out, and this one is gonna line up with this part over here, so that's gonna be fine. But the other 3 are gonna be rounded up just exactly the same way as I did the other side. And all right, all the 3 edges are rounded up, and I think it looks pretty good. So now I'm gonna start test fitting it on the bracket and marking where I gotta make 3 holes to mount it to the main bracket. All right, so I marked my 3 holes that I'm gonna drill, that's gonna go to the bracket. Once I make a pilot hole over here, I'm gonna line up over there and mark those. But at the same time, I'm also marking over here where I'm gonna have the magnets. Basically, they're gonna be spaced out about approximately 9 inches apart, and that's gonna be, of course, to hold it on the bottom. Now, once again, the magnets I'm wrapping around with electrical tape. That way, hopefully it's not gonna scratch the paint, because there is gonna be some kind of insulation, extra layer of protection. So just by wrapping this around like that, at least that's what I did on the other side, and it seems to be worked just fine. Now I'm just gonna do all of them like that, and everything is ready to start assembling, making sure that everything is fits. All right, guys, so now I'm working on adjusting the magnets. Now, because the way the truck is, the way everything is curved and bent and everything, I'm just putting a different amount of spacers, different amount of washers to accommodate for this space. I just have no better idea. Like over here I have no washers, over here I have like 3 washers, and over here I have like 6 washers. So basically that's the only way I can get this to work, by aligning, adjusting and testing. But it seems to be working for me. So as you can see, over here I actually need to add maybe like 2 or 3 more washers, and I should be good. Now actually for the back over here, for that longest one over here, I was able to get these plastic spacers. This is from the TV brackets, and they actually work pretty good. So now I'm gonna see if I can slide this one in there, and hopefully it's still gonna all align. And yeah, let's put a knot on it. And this is just a temporary, just make sure it stays in place. And I'm gonna switch them to nylon nuts when everything is done. But I think it's coming out pretty good. And as you can see, guys, it's pretty stable. Of course I gotta put one more bolt in here, but that's no big deal. But now that this is in place, I actually can get the box and start measuring where exactly I'm gonna mount it over here. Okay guys, let's check it out, where this is actually gonna go, which is probably gonna go somewhere here. Yep, I think that's gonna be good. So right now just holding it with the ladder so it stays in place, to kind of figure out where exactly I'm gonna mount it, how high and how low and whatnot. But I think this is not bad. I'm liking that. And if I sit in my truck and I look to the passenger side mirror, I see just a little bit of a gas can, but I can still see all on the side of me. I always check the mirrors there. And at the same time I check over here Now at my eye level, I only see a little bit of a, like maybe quarter of the box over here. But everything there, I mean, that part, nobody is gonna be on top of me over there anyways. If I see a car, it's gonna be down there where the ladder is at. So I don't think that's gonna be any issue. So I think that's pretty good. I can see all over there. And like I said, I always check my reverse camera mirror anyways, so I think that should be good. So I'm gonna try to mark it over there where it's gonna go and start making holes into that box as well. So I just took all the installation out from the box just to see how this is gonna open up, how this is gonna look. Hopefully this never gonna break, but I just gotta make sure I don't put too much stress on it. I think this is the best way to mount it up, facing up like that. I mean, I might have mounted the other way. I could, maybe, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I mount it opening it down, or should I mount it like that, opening it up? Maybe up or down. I mean, if I make the 4 holes over here square matching, I can always flip it around later. But what do you guys think? How should I mount it? I mean, like that, I can just open it up, hold it, or ask somebody to put all the stuff that I need and just close it. Maybe it's gonna be better like that. The only thing, the label is upside down, but it's no big deal. But at least that way, the lid is not gonna break. The other way, if I mount it like so, first of all, the lid is kind of in the way to get here, to get stuff in and out, and it's constantly going to be putting a lot of stress over here. And if I try to use it in the winter, it might break. Maybe, maybe not. It seems to be like a nice solid plastic or something. So the only thing I'm gonna have is label upside down, and if I put it the other way. But let me know, you guys, in the comments what you think, how I should mount it. In the meantime, I'm gonna mount it however I can mount it and we'll take it from there. So now I'm gonna cut 4 holes over here. I'm also gonna use this aluminum flat bar, cut it to the length over here, so the top and the bottom is gonna be sandwiched between this aluminum bar and a panel over there. So it's not just a bolt with a washers over here, but it's like gonna be all along. That should be more stable. I think it should be more stable. Maybe I should use 3 bolts actually. So I might have to use at least for the top I'm gonna use 3, and over here it's gonna be 2. Yeah, I think. But then if I do that way, so I'm probably gonna use 3 bolts on top and 3 bolts on the bottom over here, and use, like I said, use this flat bar to hold it in place. So I'm gonna measure this distance, how much I need, which I can cut at a 20-inch. Yep. So I'm gonna cut 2 of these 20-inch, make marks, holes, and drill everything. All right, that's looking pretty good. So I'm gonna make 1 hole here, middle, and over here, same over here, and over here. Drill through those aluminum bars, drill through the case, then align the case with a plate, mark there, drill all of that, mount it all up, make sure it fits, make sure everything is good, then take everything apart and paint it, and only then we can put everything back together. Nice. Now I'm gonna mark these holes. I moved these holes more in so I don't interfere with the plastic over there, the legs of this case, but it is gonna be over here now. So gonna mark this, drill these holes out. I mean, I'm gonna have holes in my case, but there's no other way to mount it.
Much later.
Alright guys, and everything is painted and everything is dry, so now I can work on mounting the plates back on the truck and start working on mounting the box to the plate. Now to mount it up, I'm gonna use this 1/4-inch flathead screws. That way nothing sharp is gonna be sticking out on the inside, and and these screws are 1 inch. They should be more than long enough. Now to seal these holes, I picked up these rubber washers. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna basically sandwich them together between the box and the plate. So I'm gonna put them up like that, where the bolt's gonna go, and as I make it tight, it should create a seal, and yeah, the water should not go in, hopefully. So yeah, gonna work on that now, aligning this all together. All right, so I aligned all the washers with the holes. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna try to place the box over it, hopefully without moving them. Then I'm gonna drop all the bolts in place, so hopefully that's gonna keep it in place without moving. Then I'm gonna try to lift it up from the one side and start putting the nuts in place. So let's see if that's gonna work out. And just little by little, just wiggle it, and I think they're all going in. So far so good, I think. All right, so I got all the bolts through. So now with the 1/4 inch washers and a 1/4 inch nylon lug nuts, gonna start securing them all from this side and making them tight. All right, and the bracket is secured. Now for these 2 bolts over here, I use 7/16 bolts with a 7/16 nylon nuts. Now for 3 bolts over here, I'm gonna use 3/8 bolts with, of course, 3/8 nylon nuts. All right, and the hardest part is done. Those 2 bolts are in. Now I can put the last one over here. So now before I tie these bolts up, I'm gonna go and put the all remaining magnets in place. That way I can kind of move this around, and then I'm gonna tighten everything up. All right guys, and as you can see, this is all done as well. As you can see, I put this time around, I went with these acorn nuts, 1/4 inch. I think this will look much better. And I actually put a little drop of thread locker, of the blue thread locker in there, so they don't come loose, and this looks much better. And of course, let's test this out. Yeah, this is not going anywhere. I'm moving that whole truck shaking, but this is not moving. But as you can see guys, this is mounted. I probably should do something about this handle, probably remove it, otherwise it's gonna be bouncing like that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe build in some kind of strap in here, we'll see. But let's open this up, and yep, it opens and it works. I decided to go opening this way for now, but like I said, leave your comments how you guys would prefer this to open. I probably can just swap it around easy, but I think it's safer this way. The only thing, I have the sticker is upside down, but should be alright. And look at that guys, I fixed the sticker as well. With the blade I carefully peeled it off and just flipped it around, and I think it should be staying in there. I don't think it's gonna come off. If I lose it, oh well. But yeah, the glue was still in there, and today was a hot day, so it got a little bit tacky, so should be good. I don't think it's gonna come off. So kinda unintentionally I've took care of that as well, but this is pretty good. So these pins, I just pulled them out, that way I don't have to worry about the handle over here. So I'm just gonna take it out completely. Well, I already took it out, and I'm gonna store it somewhere with my parts for the future, just in case I need it. That's it, problem solved, easy solution. And I somewhat relocated my recovery boards. At this time I just use these 2 straps, heavy duty straps, which is all wrapped around the case, the roof basket, and around the structure over here. So this is all pretty secured, it's not going anywhere. At this moment I just don't have any ideas where and how to mount it. I could probably make something and mount on a tire carrier, but at the same time I don't really want to add any more weight and wind resistor on a tire carrier, because the tire itself is already enough. But if you guys have any ideas where should I mount my recovery boards on my truck, please let me know, leave your comments. Or if you guys think over there it's fine, I think might as well leave it over there. I know it's not most convenient way to get them off. You have to undo the straps and take them out. or if I need to get access to these boxes where I have pretty much only the recovery gear, I have to take this out. But at the same time, if I need the recovery gear, I might as well will be needing these boards. So I mean, it's just no big deal just to take everything out and do this, get the stuff, and yeah. But you never know, maybe I can reconfigure something, put them in a back or something, we'll see. But as of today, I think this is good, this is stable, and of course the whole box is stable here. So I think this is done. Alright guys, another project successfully done. I think it was a success, and the important thing also that I was able to get it done without welding the aluminum, so you guys can do it as well. And I still have, of course, access to this door, no problem. I can open it and close it. This all sits very stable, very solid, it's not moving. I relocated my recovery boards, which are also easily accessible, I think. So I think it came out alright. Now, of course, I still have more space over here and a little bit space over here. I intentionally moved it more this way. I didn't center it. No, I brought it down because I might mount something over here. Maybe I'm gonna mount a small extinguisher there or something. You never know. Over here, some points, I may mount a camera if I need to, but I think it's alright. Of course, in your case, if you guys want to do it, you can do different dimension. You can make it smaller, bigger. You can do whatever you want, guys. This is just an idea of how to do it. This doesn't mean that this is how it has to be done. But I think it came out alright, so I'm very happy. And big thank you to my friend for getting this box for me. I'm happy how it turned out. I really like how it looks red. And of course it latches, opens up, secured over here. This is all nice and tight, not going anywhere. That's it, and it locks. And of course it has these provisions over here for the locks. In case I want to put locks here, I can also put locks and lock it up. So that's pretty cool. But yeah guys, so the project is done. I'm happy. So now I have a side panel on my driver's side, and of course my first I made on a passenger side. And it's been over a year and still it's not going anywhere. So as always, I'm gonna leave all the links in the description of what I use. Well, in this case it's mostly the box and the aluminum or some kind of material. You guys have to find it yourself, I guess. This is doable. This is not too hard to do it, as long as you guys have the material and time to. So on this note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you might find it helpful, and as always, until next time, everybody, bye.